Pete Sweeney. Pete Sweeney.
It is that time of the week where we check in with our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride, Pete Sweeney, presented by Mark Ferguson, the attorney that's been helping KC sports fans with all of their legal needs since 1996. Integrity results. That's Mark Ferguson, and that's also the very popular intro for one Pete Sweeney. I still think it's the best Pete Sweeney intro on this station. That's just me.
Yeah, I showed you guys that video the one time where I got in an Uber and got to talking about the Chiefs, and he realized, who I was, and he started singing it to me. So that was fun. It's a popular song. I got a couple popular songs on the 610 Airways.
You do.
Right now.
You definitely do. Now, looking at this game Sunday, I want to start with the injuries, man, because Isiah Pacheco is the one everybody's talking about. 2 days in a row, not practicing, shoulder contusion. I know he got beat up and tough running like he always does against the Packers. Where are you at? What are you hearing about his availability?
Yeah, I tend to think he'll try to do something today. I think it's one of those things where shoulder contusion, you're resting it 2 days, but you got to put in some kind of practice during the week. I anticipate limited, questionable, and then kind of a game day feel thing with Pacheco. The other injuries, I know you guys might bring them up, feel like they're a little bit more final, where the backups are going to go. But I think there's still a window for Pacheco. The key is going to be if he can get on the field today.
Is it 50-50 Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon if Pacheco doesn't go?
I think it's mostly Clyde. I think it's just Clyde gets to bump up to the role of the first and second down back, and Jerick McKinnon is in that third down role. I know that is not a popular thing to hear. It's not a popular thing to say, but I think that's the way it will go with the Chiefs.
Inside the organization, see, I think that this puts a little more pressure on the wide receivers because Pacheco has been taking a little heat off of that group because once you go Kelsey, Pacheco, Rice, you don't have to worry about it. Then all of a sudden, that's when the offense works. But then if you're just down to Kelsey and Rice, then kind of how do things function? I know Andy and the entire offense keep saying the same thing, Pete. Like, hey, they're trying hard, which again, it's like the worst thing you want to hear about improvement out of a wide receiver. Are we just going to get more Rice, more Kelsey? How does the stuff actually work if they need somebody else to show up?
Man, it's a tough thing right now, and that's why, if Pacheco could get on the field and sort of push through it, I think he's the most important player on the Chiefs offense right now. I mean, I know that Travis Kelce is always going to be the guy, but I just, for injury, otherwise, when we had that week 1 injury, it seems like he might have been a step slower this year. I don't know if that's a long-term thing. He's 33, 34 years old, but Pacheco's just become really, really important for this team, and it's just not the same with Clyde. And so it is going to be a situation where I think you're going to have the load in the passing game, and I think they're going to continue to lead on Clyde to at least establish the run, establish that threat, until they start sacking the box a little bit, and then that'll open things up for other guys. I like Kelsey. I like Rice. The player that I would like to see get more snaps, and I don't think I'm alone here, is Richie James. I just feel like anytime he has the ball in his hand,
please.
There is an explosiveness that, you just don't see. I guess Kadarius has it too, but you're always worried about the injury with him. So would love to see an uptick in James's 4 snaps from last week.
What kills me about this is, I swear to God, this is the third wide receiver we have said this about. Not you, Pete, just in general. Like, Tony, man, once he touches the ball, it's crazy. And then I heard that about Sky at some point in my life. And look, we were saying it about Rashee Rice before, and it was true. So I'm not saying it's the case. Hey. But this might be the 4th Chiefs wide receiver this year that I've heard analysis of like, when he touches it, kind of interesting. But then when we actually throw them the ball more, we're like, gross, no, pass.
The difference, though, with James is he had 600 yards last year. He was a part of an offense. And that's why, when you see these flashes, it's not even really only a flash. I mean, I know it was a broken down, beat up Giants team, but he managed 600 yards with Danny Dimes. He can have an impact on offense in Kansas City. So I'd love to see at least a few more, continue to uptick his snaps a little bit, see what he can do. And maybe by the time you get to the playoffs in a month, you can be an established guy in your offense. It's also a behind the scenes thing. We don't know how much the injury impacted him. We don't know where he is with the playbook, but all that we can see is when he has the ball in his hands, it seems dangerous, and he's a guy that has been, other than that little injury stint, someone that can stay on the field.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. Cody knows.
I know.
You might have mentioned other people throwing out names. Since training camp, I've hoped this was a big Richie James season. I've been waiting for his moment. If it happens now, it happens now.
Speaking of Giants quarterbacks, by the way, can we get your official Italian food rankings like Tommy DeVito?
Oh, God. I'll just give you my top one. And I don't know if everyone likes this because I know that what goes into it, but I love veal Parmesan.
Oh, okay.
I know that's something.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Chicken parm, veal parm. Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, that's kind of the top for me.
Okay,
yeah.
Good to know. Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride, joining us. You mentioned like the other names that are seemingly more definitive on being out. Wanye Morris looks to be in, right, for Donovan Smith. What's the drop-off there? I mean, I'm kind of excited to see, yet again, Wanye Morris get an opportunity because I believe Donovan Smith has been banged up for the last couple of weeks, and like last year down in Tampa, when he's hurt, it makes sense, right? His play is dipped.
Yeah, he's the rookie. Morris is grading a little bit better when he's gotten these snaps here and there. And you talk about drop off. I think there could be this is dating myself a little bit, but a Wally Pip situation going on here where Morris gets the start, and Andy Reid has shown a tendency over the years. If that offensive line has success altogether, he'll roll with that line. So I think there's a really big chance. You don't always say this about a spot start, but I think there's a chance for Morris to get that role this weekend. And if he plays well enough, if the line plays well enough, and especially if the Chiefs were to win this game, you could be looking at the left tackle for the rest of the year. They liked him in camp, was a little too raw to trust him then. Now he gets this golden opportunity with Donovan Smith, and as you guys mentioned, not as good when he's injured, fine when he's healthy, just fine. So I think you're looking at a potential upgrade, and I don't really think it's going to drop off too much. I think the floor is kind of the same, so we'll see what Morris can do.
Did you say you don't want to date yourself with a Wally Pip reference? You realize he passed away in 1965. You weren't like there's nothing to date. We know you weren't alive then. You're good.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I just don't know how many people know that story. But Morris has a Wally Pip opportunity here. Maybe I'll go in the locker room today and see if he knows who Wally Pip is.
We got to find out if this is a producer problem too. Our last producer Nick did not know what the hell we were talking about. Mitch and Wally Pip. Real quick, Drew, are you familiar with what being Wally Pipped means?
No.
What?
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So you weren't dating yourself, Pete.
No.
You're good.
Yeah.
The guy in his 20s doesn't know about Wally Pip.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a reference I thought just as a sports fan, no matter what age you are, you just know. But wow, okay, we got to find a different player. What's
Wikipedia during the break? You've got to read up a little bit.
Is Brady
Tom Brady?
Yeah, is it he Brady'd it or something?
I don't think you can be the greatest player of all time and replace Wally Pip.
But he replaced he replaced Bledsoe. I mean,
but he's too good. He's too good to just be the rep. Wally Pip is just an average player.
Well, then we got to find a new example in the last 20 years, 15 years.
We'll find one. Maybe it'll be Wanye Morris. Don't worry.
Yeah, there's the one.
Pete,
okay.
I think I feel like I'm maybe a little more in the minority, but over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I actually think the Chiefs' offense is improving. Am I alone?
No, and I think it is too. And I know everyone's pissed off about last week and what happened. They scored on the first 4 possessions of the game. I mean, it just was the field goals in the red zone. They stalled in the red zone a little bit. And this is crazy to say, and I know that everyone is still upset about this offense, but it's number 4 in the league in offensive DVOA. Like, I just don't think it's as good as it has been in previous years. And what's lost in that is, sometimes it has been not performing well in bad times during the game, and I think it's slowly improving. I worry you're getting a little bit of momentum here with the offense, and now you're one of your best players, if not your best offensive weapon, as I described before, and Isiah Pacheco might not play. Like I would love to see Pacheco push through and play because then you could kind of build off of these baby steps that you've been taking in recent weeks.
The Buffalo Bills, like, how do you view them? We just had someone on from Buffalo, and the numbers, the Bills are a lot better number-wise than they are, their actual results, and the results matter. But still, like this is not your normal 5 or 6 win team. I still believe.
Yeah, I still think the Chiefs are better on both sides of the ball. I mentioned DVOA. The Chiefs are 4, Bills are 3 offensively. The Chiefs are 9 defensively, and the Bills are 16. And the injuries to them killed them. And there's no other way to say it. The injury to Milano, the injury to White. That'd be like the Chiefs losing Bolton and McDuffie for the entire year. And so the defense is vulnerable. And I think as good as Allen is, and you're right, I mean, he's a talented quarterback, top 5 guy for sure, there are situations in games where you can have him turn the football over. And, maybe I'm calling a shot here, but Mike Edwards is going to get a lot of opportunity with Brian Cook out. He's another one. And Mike Edwards is a guy where you lose a little bit, I think, coverage-wise, but you gain a little bit of that aggressiveness. Sometimes, similar to like a Peters, he'll go for the interception and it's a big gain. But if he gets one on Allen, then all of a sudden, I think it changes the mentality of Allen. Allen, to me, there's an aspect of his game where, mentally, I think you can get to him. And so if that can happen early, I feel good about the Chiefs maybe winning by touchdown or more. I know the spread right now is at 1, but I feel good about the Chiefs. And I'll tell you, just to clear myself here, I wasn't feeling so good about the Eagles. And I kind of expressed that. I thought it was a coin flip game. They ended up losing that one. I feel pretty good about Kansas City versus Buffalo.
Okay. Well, Pete, we appreciate your time as always, and thank you for the Wally Pip reference, which we'll have to address with Drew.
Yeah, and look, any way that we can grow, and I'm happy to help Drew grow on this Friday.
Thank you, Pete.
There you go.
Thank you.
Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride.
Wally.